Do you think we should amend the California Constitution so that illegal aliens cannot obtain driver's licenses, college fees, or tuition and other benefits?
Immigration is great for this country, but a immigration that is legal, is controlled, so that those that immigrate here become mainstream Americans. They adopt our culture. They speak our language. They do all of the things that American become great American citizens and great contributors to this country. We're all immigrants to this great country. But we're talking about those that come here, force their way in illegally. One of the main institutions that really supports the matricular card and all this are banks. Banks make a lot of money on those that come here and then send money back, the transfer of that money back to Mexico, to their home country. As a matter of fact, you may know that the third greatest part of the Mexican economy today is money that's sent by their citizens here back to Mexico. It's a major part of the Mexican economy. And so the banks are involved in it.
Is it possible that some of these immigrant rights groups and some of the special interests for the ethnic are really a front for the banks pushing to open up new frontiers and increase their business?
If you have an account, they'll ship money wherever you want it. They take a little slice of that pie and you're on your way. So it's from foreign banks, from American banks, it's from all over the world. I mean, they are sucking the substance, the life substance, out of our country and out of our state. And it isn't only a California problem.
It's not an immigration issue. We have close to 2.2 million unlicensed, uninsured drivers in California. There's over 22 million licensed drivers in California. What is the alternative? That we're going to wait until there's 5, 6, 8 million unlicensed, uninsured drivers in California? Who's going to be burdened by that?
The fact of life is, if they are caught driving on our streets and highways today without insurance, without a driver's license, the car is impounded. The car is taken away. And it's taken away even for those that are American citizens. They can tow that car and have it impounded. And so it's not a public safety thing at all with them. It's a form of identification to get things that they otherwise wouldn't get.
It's just an ID card. That's all it is. It doesn't allow you to go vote. Undocumented folks know that they can't vote. If they do vote, they can't get a green card, they can't get their citizenship. It's a known fact.
It's just an identification card. Nonsense.
Well,
you get on aircraft, you get on... That's the identification that is used to get on an airplane. If you're a terrorist and you have a valid California driver or any driver license, you're on the aircraft. The state of California today is swimming in red ink. We can no longer be the lifeboat. Although no matter how your heart bleeds for these poor people of Mexico or Canada or wherever they're from they're from all around the globe. We can no longer be the lifeboat for all of these people. If they choose to get in line, come here legally, become part of our system, become part of America, become Americans. I'm a guy that doesn't like hyphenations because I don't think that just because you're from Africa or I'm from England, but I'm not an English American. I'm an American. If you're from Mexico and you have joined this great country, you're an American. You're no longer, if you're from Africa, you're an American, period. That's the great part of this country. So I believe in legal immigration. Great for this country, not those that flood in illegally.
In full disclosure, interviewed Dr. Fernando Guerra, who is the head of the Los Angeles Center for the Study of Los Angeles, and he described to us about this power and how it's being used politically. Would you please tell us what those elements are?
Well, first and foremost, and the most powerful, is just a demographic shift, the number of Latinos. Second is that it's not just population, but actual voters that count. And so there's obviously a disparity there, but there's a tremendous increase in the number of Latino registered voters and the number of registered voters that are actually turning out. That's the greatest impact.
Okay.
Number two is a convergence of forces that include the emergence of Spanish language television that we just talked about, the fact that labor unions are increasing in Los Angeles and they're highly dependent on Latino workers. The Catholic Church has really changed its tone from 20 years ago, where it sees itself as having a preferential option for the poor, the immigrant, the other, and has become strongly advocating under Cardinal Mahoney, a Latino agenda almost.
Yeah.
For him to take the assumption that just because they are Hispanic that somehow they're going to follow lockstep with his liberal ideology isn't true. I hate to pop his bubble and tell him that. Mm-hmm. Now, the Catholic Church, if he believes that he's growing in power in the Catholic Church. Well, I think the Catholic Church is smart enough to know that their duty is to create more power for God Almighty. Their mission in life is to create a worship for the God that we all bow to. And so I think he may get a few here and there that are out to lunch, but I don't believe that he can persuade the Catholic population to follow blindly his liberal bent. That isn't going to happen.
Made the observation that Cardinal Mahoney and the Church played a significant role in Proposition 187 in terms of money that they spent. Is that something we can expect in the future, for the churches to play a role in the political expenditure of
Well, I just
influence?
want to make something very perfectly clear. The Catholic Church and the Archdiocese never directly spent money in the campaign for or against 187. However, they do utilize their resources to try to mobilize Catholics in general, the community in general, and Latinos specifically, to get out and do their civic participation, which is to vote. The Cardinal feels a responsibility, as do most of the church hierarchy, that they have to educate their parishioners on what they believe are important issues, whether it has to do with abortion, divorce, or the treatment of immigrants. They feel it strongly that they need to articulate that.
The Catholic Church is the biggest. I mean, and they're very heavily centered throughout California.
Well, he continues to say immigrants to skew the issue. Illegal immigrants is what we're talking about here. And I don't believe that the Catholic Church is going to mobilize thousands of people and have them believe that we ought to let people flood in here from around the world illegally. I mean, they may follow some of the dictates of the church, but this isn't a social thing. This is a matter of survival. This is a matter of their pocketbook. This is a matter of competing with those illegally here for jobs. Now they say they're only taking jobs that other people won't take. That's not true. They're taking jobs across the board. They're into the construction industry heavily, highly paid jobs. Highly skilled jobs that they're taking, those that are illegally here. I don't believe in open borders at all. I believe in our country. We have a constitution. We have a country with borders. We need to defend. I agree with that. We have to defend our borders. We have to make our people safe. That's what borders are all about.